Okay. What a pleasant way to begin this show. This is a nationalistic endeavor wherein we come to play our role and ensure that this country does not go um, in a way that undermines nationalism and the true sense of democracy. Once again, I'm Dr. Ibrahim Dassamasu. The first, I'm the executive director, a nationalist of the Democracy Empowerment for Economic Progress. Deep as a movement is concerned about preaching the true sense of nationalism. What is nationalism? What Liberians are to do as a nation, and how can they develop themselves if they want to succeed as a nation. From every indication in this country, you will know that our past and current leaders and leadership have refused to have Liberians trained as nationalists. They refuse to train Liberians to be able to love their country, to be able to stand up for their country, defend their country, ensure that their country succeeds. Um, the entire country have been left in a state where everybody tried to fetch out for himself or herself, forgetting that the country, Liberia, should be proud to every other person. When people want political offices, they try to use rhetoric and tell Liberians that they are interested in the well-being, they're interested in pushing this country forward. But in actuality, that is not the case. It's not the case. We often see that this country is often going nowhere because the citizens do not know what to do, how to go about doing things, and they prefer to satisfy politicians than themselves or the nation. Undermining the true sense of democracy or nationalism is just an act of ensuring that people turn to worship the leaders, tend to seek on what they can reap out of their leaders or the country, and leaving the entire country in poverty. From a sociological context, you would notice that the Liberian society, the way it conduct itself, prove prove that okay, prove prove that it accepts poverty over prosperity. As a nationalist, I'll be speaking. You can follow us up on our page. That is the Deep National Hour Facebook page. You can follow us on that page, and we will be able to get you on course. So we title our discussion today Liberians' acceptance of poverty over prosperity. When you said that, it sounds too harsh. That how can you say Liberians prefer poverty over prosperity? There are sets of conduct, there are sets of behavior, there are ways in which we conduct ourselves if we want to be a prosperous nation. There are things that we will not accept, there are things we will accept simply because we want to be just among those that exist as a nation. Particularly, you will see that even the country does not even think about whether it's existing as a nation. Everybody think about what can you do, what can you put on your table, how can you sustain your family. Those are all things that most Liberians are most more concerned about. But you don't hear things like we want to have a national disco. We want to discuss about the future of our country. We want to know how the resources of our nation is being used. We want to have constant information from our leaders because the Constitution provides that it is the responsibility of our leadership to provide us with sufficient information on how things are done in the country, the functionary of government. But unfortunately, it doesn't happen this way in our country. And the citizen themselves, only a few individuals come out. And To be very sincere with you, you can't blame the Liberian society that much because they are not educated to understanding the importance of not allowing few individuals to just run this country anyway, anyhow, and you just sit and believing that one day God will send us a leader that will bring transformation in this country. We should understand that every leader has a nationalistic responsibility as every citizen. The Liberian Constitution provides that Liberian citizens should form a government that will work in the best interest of the entire country. It means that those that are living today, those that are in the womb, those on a pregnancy, those that will be born one day after, 1 week after, 1 month after, 1 year after, 10 years, 100 years after, is our responsibility to be able to think about those people. The same way as a father, scripture says, according to the Bible, Proverbs, that a wise father keep inheritance for his children. It means that the society should not be thinking about just today. The society should be thinking about how will the future generation come and meet life. This particular country called Liberia. Those are obligations that we citizens should be thinking about. And you may argue that, but we are currently living on a destitution, poverty, and we'll be thinking about people who have not yet been born. And that's the certain argument that support this particular position of mine that the Liberian society accept poverty over prosperity. Because poverty is an acceptance of the conduct of behavior in your society. Okay? If you accept certain things to exist that should not exist in your society, and you accept it simply because you want to be a decent person, you feel that people cannot change, things cannot work on fine. So you don't want to hair your hair, you want to be home and go until the day good leader comes there is found. Some people have even made up their minds that they will not vote again because previously they thought that the judge here we have been good, but he came, he ran another messy government, corrupt. People had hope in Joseph Newman Barker. He came in and started institutionalizing surrender practices, breaking laws here and there, undermining systems, and hardship is just walking all through on the street. Look, let me tell you, when you accept this social evil, it means that you accept poverty to come unto you. Because you see, when you listen to Donald Trump and other government that try to prevent you from going to their countries, it's not that they hate you, they hate your behavior. They hate your behavior. Things that citizen cannot permit to happen for them to do to their citizen, you are here permitting it. And even if they raise awareness, you refuse to take actions to change them. So why do you want to come to that country? Okay, so they behave the way they do to the black men because they feel the black men cannot have the ability to think like them. The black men always think that subordinative way of thinking. You always below the belt. Okay? It is an acceptance of poverty. Today, just for Macron, the president of France, to talk about sending troops into Ukraine to defend um, um, the democracy of Ukraine, the French citizens have already stood up. Okay, that we cannot accept this. We will not allow our sons and headquarters to go out there. They go out there in the streets, fill the street all over the place with banners and other things. It can happen in the black man country, most especially in Liberia. You only hear few individuals will call on radio station and try to debunk that particular or say certain things concerning that particular statement or action of government to be taken. Maybe a politician have interest in and they want to make themselves relevant, they will also try to exploit that situation. But the country itself does not think that say, look, we have a fundamental role, constitutional role to play. Because if the country can think and act, it means that you will not even say to allow few individuals because they have been privileged to serve as representatives to just break the law, set in some kind of hotel and try to use the surrender mean to boot out a legally elected speaker. And we also come back and try to challenge the Supreme Court that they are poorly prepared, poorly educated, poorly situated to even interpret what comes from them, from the Supreme Court. We come and say we will not accept ruling, and it's a interference. You see how poorly educated when people are, they don't even know. You see, um, um, developed country look for highly educated, sophisticated people to serve as representatives and senators. And they look at their track records. Instead, in this country, we try to look at the monetary value, political connection, and tribal line to elect leaders. And at the end of the day, you expect to use the wrong approach to the right situation or timing to get the right answer. It doesn't work that way. So you put yourself on a situation that people will not respect you because your action is not an acceptable actions. Okay, those are not acceptable actions. So if you have your laws. Look, let me tell you, one of the things I can really admire about a couple of Liberians who are so damn privileged to sit in the political offices, you see, when they speak, you get international flavor messages from them. When they go and get sponsorship from friendly nations, partners, donors, however they call them, because they keep begging for everything to pass law. They have begged someone to help them support it. You will see that what they say is relevant, even though it may not be up to 80%, but it is workable. It's good to work with. But unfortunately, they will make those laws that will be very, very fine. But when it comes to implementation, they will refuse. And the citizens who should be nationalistic should know that they also have an obligation to make sure that 73% cannot determine how this country goes and everybody keeps quiet. It doesn't work in democracy. It doesn't support the variables and principle and tenets of democracy. It doesn't even support social philosophy. But in our setting, we sit, we only grumble, we only talk, we only bite, undermine people who may not, we don't even need to undermine. And the real thing that are before us that we need to fight to change as a nation, we cannot exist as a homogeneous body to bring about the revolution that will bring transformation. Every person that leaves to become and go out there to be a minister or a director in government is a privilege. A privilege is not something that is a right, is that entitlement, and they decide what to do. Okay, that's the reason why you have various agency and ministry. Most especially, you get institutions in this country that should be giving more money, more jobs, more opportunities, influencing development in this country. Nobody knows how they operate. And the citizens are not cognizant of their nationalistic responsibility, so they allow these people to exist. No single individual who owns the MPA, National Port Authority. It should be the born and unborn citizens of this country. LPRC, it should be the born and unborn. Okay? And you did name all those various entities that we have in this country. But are they properly accounting to the society? Are they? No. Do we have time for that? Possibly maybe less, or maybe nothing at all. But those things, no, those institutions, even if government tells you, say, or your minister or president, you say, I don't want to take $5 from government coffers. As long as you have agencies, okay, or your those government owned entities that are operating, NEC, water and sewer, those institutions are operating and they are not being checkmated, they're not being audited. People are not seeing how they use the money. Money go in their own coffer and they determine how much. Are they owners? No. You see, there were too many connected problems with this country. Too many. Too many. And one of the things that really can get to me is when we define ourselves, I know when we have degrees in our hands and we masquerade as educated individuals and things that undermine our prosperity, we don't even see how to get it done. It is not anything wrong for a doctorate degree holder to stay in the street to advocate that LPRC should account and tell us how much they have and want to know. It is not anything wrong. It is not denigrating for a master degree holder to come out and say, want to know how MPA and the airport, maritime and every other institution, how they work, how much they generate, how much they charge people. Is that anything wrong for a bachelor degree holder to stay in the street? Because when you stay and make it, you'll know that your country budget should not be around or less than $1 billion. Your country budget should be around maybe around 12, 13, $20 billion. So if you tell you that you have so much money in your country and few individuals are harvesting it, and the entire country is left incommunicado of necessary resources, then it is also a breach of our constitution. Okay? It's a breach of the constitution. The constitution says in Article 7, the principle of management of national economy, the principle of management of national economy, that the republic shall, consistent with the principle of individual freedom and social justice inscribed in the constitution, manage the national economy, and the natural resources of Liberia. That is not all. The government is to manage the national economy and the natural resources of Liberia in such manner as shall. It means that it is mandatory. Look, you are accepting poverty over prosperity because you are lazy. You accept things. You think that when a politician come and give you 5,000 Liberian dollars and maybe look at a whole marketing association and change the money to Liberian dollars and say I give you 100,000, then the whole market go on celebration because the mines are limited, so small. Hey, you think they are doing you favor? They are not doing you favor. They are only trying to give you the remnant and those things that they don't want, the little things that they don't want to make you celebrate. And you struggle by yourself thinking that you are doing things. Let me tell you, we have passed the age of talking about electricity being stable. We have passed the age of talking about water reaching our houses. Those aren't things to celebrate on. Your minds are small. So small things will satisfy you. We have passed the stage, the stage of talking about the street lives. We have passed the 170, almost 78 or 70 years of existence. Those are not things you should be looking at to celebrate. You should be putting more demands on government because there are too much money that you cannot account for. The government cannot account for. You, the citizen, you don't even know. These guys are demons. These guys are terrible characters. They should be able to open. Look, let me tell you, one of the biggest frustration we have in this country is that particular area, say the House of Legislators, the senators and representatives. They are the biggest embarrassment in this country, biggest embarrassment. Because if those guys who are 103 in that house representing every sector, every constituency in this country, if they were checkmating and not being greedy and want to have big stomach and have so many extra affairs and activities that their salary cannot meet up with, they will be asking questions and see that the response or the outcome can transform the lives of millions. How many of you know by record, by statistic evidence that the iron ore that is living in this country, the gold, the diamond, and the regulation to see how these things are being sent. Well, the one that is taken out of this country is equivalent to that which it's being reported to government. How many, even the government itself is not concerned, they're concerned about taking back kicks from these companies because those are information that should not be
It should be a privileged information. We should have it. Where are university, those in the geological environment, where are they conducting research? What information do they have? The accounting department, the business administration department. Are you studying your economy? Those who are reading economics, are you studying your economy? Do you know about your economy? Or are you reading books from the West, forgetting about your own country? You don't know nothing. You know a little bit, the small thing, not even much about your own country, because even your books are foreign. I mean, your brain is foreign, and yet you don't want to do what foreigners do. Instead, you read their books, but you refuse to accept their archaeology and life patterns, and you do your own, which is denigrating, very elementary, and that support poverty to prosperity. I'm going to tell you this: every one of us who have gone through what it takes to live from zero to somewhere of relevant, not using all kind of funny means. We talk about using naturalism. Okay, you know for the way that it is not an easy task. It's not an easy task to become successful. It's not an easy task to take care of yourself well without abusing your body and doing things that undermine your own essence of survival. Okay, you don't need to compromise. You don't need to compromise your body. Have low esteem in order to succeed. We got to train our society in a way to get things the right way. And we got to make sure that accountability is important in this particular light of nationalism. I will always call on the Ministry of Education. If the only thing you can do to hold my own respect is to get Liberian students trained to be nationalistic, I will be very happy. This country will be very happy. The unborn generation will be very happy. But you have a society, a young society that is terribly reckless. Terribly reckless. So these guys who are terribly reckless, circumventing the educational procedures and systems, will learn tomorrow as representatives, senators, and ministers and directors. You expect them to be able to bring out apple that they did not acquire on their way out there? It's not possible. They'll be reckless, they'll be corrupt, they'll be insultive. They will not have the level of innovation that is required to transform a society. They may try out of some aspiration, other things in or exposure, but that will be at a limited scale. If you want to jumpstart the future of this country today, it means that the information that gets into the head of the generation that is currently in the corridor of education, from the nursery all the way to the doctoral level, it means that you need to start having mandatory material on nationalism, on governance, on citizenship, that every citizen of this country must be trained to live by. And when people start to understand that nothing good comes easy, and that they have a responsibility, if this country must succeed, they have a responsibility to ensure the country succeeds. You want to go to America, but when Donald Trump takes action in America and not satisfied, they jump in the street and prevent it from taking place. They take legal approach, they take sociological democratic approaches, they take it, and it works best for them to keep that democracy, to keep that sovereignty, to keep themselves at the epic that they are. Then you, in one of the five poorest countries in the world, you refuse to leave your environment that you refer to as comfort zone that they are not. I can't even talk about in your comfort zone only because you think you have a car, but yet you stay taking like in buckets. You still thinking about in buckets. Your current state coming off and going on. You can't even determine whether your current is reliable because you're in the rainy season time. And some people already, the mind is just short-sighted. They already forgetting to know that most often will get more current during the rainy season period. They don't even know when rainy season can start. Some people stay within when it starts saying rain heavy, then the rainy season can have started. But they didn't know the periodic time of the rainy season. Those are all terrible things in our society. Look, Liberians, you need to stop thinking in that small box of yours. You need to understand that every technology that comes out today is because people are thinking how to improve life, how to make things easy. We used to walk from here, Maryland, to carry communication. People talk and brought bicycle. People talk and brought motorbikes, brought those different things. Until today, we get email that can carry things here and there, telephone. It is because people are thinking hard to make things work. If your country, you are still receiving, 10,000 and 15,000 Liberian dollars as salary. You're making $100 as salary, $150 as salary, 200 US dollars as salary, and you get family and other things support, to sustain yourself and other things. Then, and you get the biggest of month than people who are even making $2,000-3,000. It means that there is something. I don't want to say whether it's homeostasis, but it is something emotionally or psychologically wrong with the society, and you can attribute that to limitation. You can attribute that to limitation. Look, let me tell you, those who think hard, who spend time thinking how to advance themselves, advance whatever they are engaged in, and seek after strategies and other things that will help them improve, they can always end up in success. People who feel that life just come. If they come to you, fine. And you come, you fine. I mean, I think with the money in our part, they don't find we are again find it. When you think of that, it means that you are accepting poverty. You are accepting poverty. Your constitution says that you must not accept poverty. Article 7 says that when the government manages your natural resources in such a manner to ensure not minimum, but the constitution says maximum. It means that you must be at the zenith of everything in your country. I can tell you, besides the corrupt officials of government, Liberians are not hardly paid in various institutions around here. Foreigners take more better salary and French benefits and other privileges than the Liberian citizens themselves in their own country. It shows how poorly educated the society is. Because if you have a society that thinks it is educated, you will have solution for that. But for years in, years out, business people, I keep telling you that your officials are corrupt, they are criminals, and will look at you in your faces and tell you that your officials are in their pockets. And for the years in, years out, some of you have been living and been interacting with the non-Liberians. The same thing keep happening. What have you done about it? So if the white man have not brought malaria treatment, it means that we able to think and find malaria treatment. We'll be going to the old pavilion and be looking for roots and kojobo and other things as a way of that struggle to find medicine. Because the society, those who even go to school, are not capable of thinking to find solutions to their problems. You know the importance of establishing education or higher education? Every department needs to come out with findings every semester, new findings, new project. What is the importance of writing a thesis, a dissertation? It's for you to go and conduct research, not for you to go take something from the thesis from the internet and submit it to a group of guys who will not be able to authenticate or push to ensure that it is something of realism in your community. No. Somebody will say about that. You'll say you're a doctoral, doctoral in teacher at the bachelor program, what's that thing? So why can you? No, reflect them. If you want to make a change, I won't be seated on this island and be dodging it. We make everything easier to grab. It's easier for you to become a professor and everything pro. It's easy. It's easy to get a bachelor degree. It's easy to get a master's degree. It's easy for people to graduate from high school without even sitting there in classes or even learning anything straight. And we are unable to find solution to such issues. We have numerous problems, but we don't have the capacity. We want somebody to come and sponsor a project, get up money to find solution to each of our problems. That put your country way down the belt. It means poorly defined society. What will we look? The problems in your family, God placed you there to be able to solve them. You came from a poor family, God kept you alive so that you cannot allow poverty to also come out of you. You don't need to come from a poor family and live and die poor. It means you're a curse. You can't be in a society that few individuals are looting what for everybody, and you permit it, and you can't even get money to go to hospital. You even get good hospitals, and you permit it. It's a curse. That's why I refer to this generation as a very bad generation. A generation that sees that knows the problem but refuse to take action to solve, to remedy that problem. It's a very bad generation. So what are we doing when we can't do anything straight for ourselves? What are we doing for our children to come and see a better Liberia? I'm not impressed when I drove around and I saw street lights and coming up. Those are just attempts. I'm not impressed about that. I'm not one of those limited Liberians. No, I'm not impressed because I have seen that before. And after a few months, all of them go down. So those things get impressing. The society quit to start celebrating kind of things. That you should go above that level by now. To know that they only bring in pacifiers, they bring in things and they'll get you excited. And they'll pull you find it again. So you should have grown above that level by now. Then you'll be able to put more demands on your leaders to do the right things. If you're not able to sustain something, do not bring it out. Do not. But you can come and bring some things up there. Hey, the government is doing well, government is doing well. Ooh, it's out. They say, oh, you can say nothing can last in this country. And you are sitting and unable to solve that problem. You're qualified as a citizen. You are not. Your resources, your constitution, Article 7 says you should have maximum feasible participation. Maximum feasible, it's something that you should be able to access in your laws, the labor law over there at the Ministry of Labor. Go and ask them, the Employment Services Division. Go and ask them whether there's not a law there that says that government should be able to look for a job for you. Go there. You know they show you things. But is government looking for a job for you? Why are they sending work permits? Why are they sending work permits using it as a revenue and they're trying to celebrate and say we are contributing? Was the Ministry of Labor set up to contribute to national coffers by sending jobs that Liberians should benefit from? But you all are seeing it. Those of you who are working with foreign businesses, you'll be a very good accountant. You make $300-400. Another foreigner that bring as an accountant, he made $3,000-4,000 US. You see it, you live with it, and you can't do anything about it. It's a clear manifestation of limitation. Nobody wants to serve at the sacrificial lamb because the entire society is coward. It's coward. Everybody said they want somebody to take the step. And when somebody takes the step, they sit back to see what comes out of that step. Very bad generation. If everybody must receive latches, let everybody goes out there and receive latches and let those latches bring about change. What in case you are being colonized? How will you ever have broken out of your colonization, your slavery? How will you ever? You gotta stand up for something and say no. That's the reason why other countries that were colonized, they're able to fight to bring about change. You were not colonized, so you're able to even change. And the simple things like people graduating from high school and can't read, you're able to change it. You're able to change it that book and circumvent system and get somewhere up there. That your passport in the hands of non-Liberian, your voting cards in the hands of non-Liberian, your national ID card in the hands of non-Liberian. You can't change it, you can't stop it. You are that empty talk of cowards. You are not setting the foundation for the generation to come. You are not doing that. You are not. Look, let me tell you, you should be guilty of yourself. Liberians, you should be ashamed of yourself that you are not doing anything sufficient to bring about change in your country, and you want to masquerade with credentials. The essence of having credentials is to bring transformation. The former Secretary General Kofi Annan, he said all our development and every human rights and our improvement in our society are all contingent, are all based on education. But we sit and allow things to just go by. You are still suffering within for 2029, whereas you can make changes today. You can make changes today. Why are you allowing 6 years to let me passing by you in the name of you? Do you know what kind of thing you can do in 6 years? Do you know what can you achieve in 6 years? You know what Bangladesh did? You know what made China great? You know how many years though? You see what is happening now in Burkina Faso? You know what happened in Uganda to bring Uganda among one of the elite countries in Africa? You think that allowing 6 years, 6 years, 6 years, 6 years, 6 years to be passing? Okay, we'll soon be taking a short break, and then we come back and we take it. Look, let me tell you, you have laws, but you don't have citizens to ensure the laws come into reality. The problem of this country is not just with the government officials. The problem of this country is with everybody because the society is weak, so it produces weak officials of government. Because the country cannot stand up, so it produces weak people who cannot stand up. There are some good officials of government. Let me tell you this today. But because they don't have people to stand with them, and that's the reason why I am saying, Fanatic Kofa, whatever your name is, the current speaker. If you want to serve a legacy, do not resign. And all those who are supporting, stop thinking about the speakership position. Try to change the mentality of this country of group people getting around and trying to force somebody out of their offices and in order to put your country. Let me tell you, a best Fanatic Kofa holds that position until you can have all the representatives seated under the law to do what is required of the law. And if they remove him based on legalism, then we talk about a country. It means that we need to stop this culture of forcing people to resign. We need to stop it. It's jungle justice. That it doesn't form part of any civilization. If you resign, what makes you different from the Eddie Snow and Eddie Styles? That you hold the process longer? The result the same. The result the same. We want to stop the particular political evil. It is terrible to see it is happening on Baka. What happened with the United Party? That's the reason why I tell you, you need to get rid of the entire United Party and CDC stuff. Yeah, scrap them out the entire political picture. Scrap them. Because they all can just do things and look at the law and just deliberately choose to break the law. Not to circumvent the law, but to break it. Two speakers will remove honor the same United Party. And you are doing the same thing in this particular administration. Chief Justice, one of the justices were removed under the CDC. These guys are terrible. They are broke policies. Look, let me tell you, you don't need all the people to stand with you in order to do that which is right. There should be some politician, some lawmaker that should go down in history that we stood the test of time. We did not accept a country to be ran by people who hijack power and go, and because they feel that we say we want men, and men resign. No, we stood the course to bring an end to that culture of forcing your leader the wrong way to leave power. Those guys must be able to be brought on the law. They should set down over the legitimate speaker and let him preside. If they're able to raise their motion and to say based on therefore we want to remove you using legalism, I will fully support it. If they reach the number to remove him, that is good. But even those of you in that and second of them, I can say a group of people who call themselves for the rule of law, that rule of law group. You should not be eyeing speaker. You should be eyeing the law to keep the law in check. You should not be using it as a way of now. Yeah, I know that doing that, so man, you can park away. So okay, the car will still protect the car we are achieved. You have not achieved anything because the same culture is still in line. The same culture of pressurizing and then the speaker drop is still in line. And they were the political group, if they are nationalistic and driven, they will stand up against such things. The student grouping, if they know full well that we need to end this particular barbaric, tyrannic practice in this country, they will stand up and say, look, Kufa, we refuse you resigning. You will remain and let this culture of forcing leaders to resign. So when Kufa moves today, a new person gets there. What goes around comes around. And another group of people came. They reached the number illegally and want to force that other speaker to come out. And a primitive lifestyle? Is that not primitive? Because you're doing what goes around comes around. So it's primitive. You forgetting to know the reason why in the white man country they don't permit such thing to happen is because they don't want someone to practice it tomorrow and then next time practice it. So when you practice it today, we'll correct it today. So that it serves as a deterrent. Nobody will want to do that again. Nobody. So everybody who stood with Kofa over the period of time remains standing for the law. That Kofa, I don't need to know his name. That Kun, who should go down in record. The Liberians are not writing. If they are writing, all those guys were cool, and this government is miserably disappointing Liberians. They will be writing on them, and students who doing political science will see one of the small government, will see one of the terrible government, tyrannical government, and read about it 100 years ago, and they go down in history. Those things are things that the department should be writing on. But at the political science department in this country, are they writing on it? At the legal departments and those at the law department, are they writing on these things? Or they themselves are being compromised? Because compromising in this country is just very, very easy, very, very common. Oh, yes. Liberians are very easy, very quick to be compromised. Who will stand up to the end? You, Liberian, you are breaching your own constitution. The Constitution says in Article 7 that you must have maximal participation in your economy on condition of equity, equality, to advance your awareness. How many of you have at least $20,000 or $30,000 in your account? How many of you? How can you improve your awareness when you take 10,000 Liberian dollars salary? You are so happy. 100 US dollar salary, you are so happy. They assign you a car and you can get straight money in your place. You stay high. Many Liberians build houses from stealing, from corruption. Many Liberians they do things, pay children school fee and do other things, and from compromises they go. When they compromise the body, that is not healthy for a nation that is so prosperous in terms of natural resources. The people need to be educated, the people need to be empowered. You have liberalization law and it's not working. You get labor law that says that people should make 145 US dollars just for 8 hours or maybe more than 150 US dollars. But these so both of other they ain't making that particular money. But they all say that no, it's not that we have said it for years. Okay, we have said these things. But who are those listening? And even if they are listening, are they prepared to take actions? Even if they are prepared to take actions, how many of them are prepared to take actions? Hamidi. Again, this is the Deep National Hour program. I'm Dr. Abraham Dasamasi the first. I would like to take a short break and then okay. So I was just want to say that I'll be on the platform every time. That is every Friday by 5 p.m. I'll be on this platform by 8:30 p.m. 8:30 9 p.m. I'll be on Saturday. I'll be on this platform again. So I will highly appreciate for you to go on our page, subscribe, share the show with as many persons as possible. You know, and let's see how to move this country forward. When we here, this country must change. So we will just take the the break, and then